welcome to my channel. Tiffany here of Tiffany Gordon Cosplay, and I'm a professional costume and prop fabricator as well as educator here on YouTube, and would love to have you as part of our cosplay building community here, so subscribe to the channel. On today's cosplay tutorial, I'm going to be showing you how to make your own Princess Mononoke wolf cape furry thing. Yeah, this thing. And it may not look like much, but it actually is functional. It has your little hoodie and your cape, and it also has a placement for putting your mask as well as your little ears. So let's begin with making this critter. And here are all the materials you will need for making this wolf cape hoodie thing, and I'll have links to everything in the description. And of course I have a pattern for it as well, available on my website, TiffanyGordonCosplay.com, link in the description. To first start off, we're gonna talk about making the cape portion of this. And for this, we're gonna be using a cream color faux fur. And you will want to have the fur facing away from you when doing this. So we're gonna trace the main cape section onto the back of this fabric twice. Then using scissors, you're going to slightly cut just at the top part of the fabric. If you cut too deep down, you're going to start cutting the fur part, and you don't wanna do that. You can also use an X-Acto knife and kind of score the top part to also reduce the amount of extra fur that will go everywhere. Once you have the two pieces cut out, you are then going to sandwich them together, having the fur face each other, and you are going to pin the two parts, leaving the top portion open. Then we're going to take it to our sewing machine, and we're going to be using a straight stitch with the needle on the left, sewing it all the way around, but remember to leave the top part open. Then trim any extra fabric. Then we're gonna follow up with an overcasting stitch along that edge, and this is just gonna help hold all of the pieces together and make it so the fur doesn't just go everywhere. Once you're done with that, we're going to flip it inside out, so now the fur should be facing outwards, and then you're going to want to pin the top part that should still be open closed. Then once again to your sewing machine, and we're gonna do a single stitch, needle on the left to finish closing that top part, followed by our overcasting stitch. Then you're gonna wanna grab your brush, and for me, I like to use a wig brush that has very hard bristles, and you're going to comb all of the fur in one direction. As well as on the edges that were stitched, you're going to want to kind of pull the rest of the fur out so it looks like there was no stitch there. And that should finish up the cape section of this hoodie. Now for the hood part of this wolf cape. For this, again, we're going to want to trace our pattern onto the back side of the faux fur, and this time you're gonna do it 4 times, 2 facing one way and then 2 facing the other. Then proceed to cut them out with scissors. And once all your pieces are cut out, you're then going to take 2 of the halves, put them together with the fur on the inside, and you're going to pin just the outer part of this. Then once again to your sewing machine to do a single stitch, needle on the left, followed by your overlocking stitch. I will note at this point, I ended up cutting on one sewed side, the tail part off. This is so that way when we sew the two pieces together, it made it a lot easier to flip it inside out, as well as made a place for me to put my straps later, but it's not a necessary step. Now that your two halves are sewn, we're going to then combine them together. And for this, you're gonna want, again, the faux fur facing the inside toward each other, and then we're going to pin it. Starting with the front section, you're gonna pin in the center and slowly work your way around towards the pointed ends, and the bottom part we're going to be leaving open on this for now. Then back to the sewing machine, and we're gonna do a straight single stitch, needle on the left, and remember to leave the bottom section unsewn, followed by our overcasting stitch. And once that's done, flip it inside out so that way all of the fur is on the outside. Then we're going to pin the open part closed. Then one more time to the sewing machine with our single stitch, needle on the left, followed by the overcasting stitch to finish our hood piece. Next, we're gonna be attaching the hood to the cape. And for this, you're going to want to lay your cape part on a table, grab your hood, and then we're going to pin them together, starting from the center and working our way around. Note that the end part of the cape will not reach the end part of the hood, as this part is intentional for going over your shoulders. Then back to the sewing machine, and we're gonna first start off with, you guessed it, the single stitch needle on the left, followed by our overcasting stitch to finish off attaching the two pieces together. Then grab your brush and brush out the seam, so that way your stitch line no longer is there and it looks like the hood and the cape part were both one section together. Now for weathering, and I'll note that you don't have to do any weathering on this if you don't want to. I just wanted it to match the rest of my costume, which was a little bit weathered, a little bit bloody, but it's totally optional. And what I used for weathering this was Kratex Colors Candy Line, specifically their black and blood red colors, as well as using some water and some simple green, and just kind of sprayed it here and there with an airbrush gun as well as a paintbrush, and just kind of dipped it here and there too to kind of give the bottom a little bit more a look that I've been walking through mud and water. Now to talk about the strap, which is what is going to hold the cape onto you. And I'm going to be using a white nylon strap as well as a parachute buckle for this. First, cutting our strap into 2 long strips. Side note, nylon straps tend to be really frayy at the ends, and to stop it from fraying, you want to apply heat. So you can do this either with a lighter or a heat gun, applying the heat to the tip so that way it will crisp closed. Next, we're going to pin the strap to the hood dangly parts onto the backside, and then to our sewing machine to sew them in place. For this, I used the single stitch needle on the left, doing 2 strips down at the edges of our straps. And then the last step is to just add our parachute buckle. And you can use a normal buckle if you want, so you just have to sew them closed. But the good thing about a parachute buckle is you can pull the straps tight on either side while you're wearing it, so you can easily adjust at conventions and other people can wear it too. Now for our final steps of attaching the ears and the mask to the hoodie. And if you missed the tutorial on how I made the mask and the ears out of EVA foam, I will do a link in the description. There are 2 tutorials, one for making the pieces out of foam, as well as a second one for how I painted them. So check them out. And for this, I did put 3 attachment places, here, here, and here, for the mask to be put, with Velcro on the back of the mask that lines up for the hood. So you just place it here, and it attaches like that. You can always attach this with hot glue to permanently attach it, but for me, because I travel and I want to be able to store this without it being ruined, I want it to come apart. So this was the easiest way for me. As well as I did the same method for the ears, having 2 pieces of Velcro on either side. That matched to the 2 pieces of Velcro onto the back of the ears that I could then attach. And same thing, you can always hot glue it if you want it to be permanent, but I like it being detachable. And what you're gonna need for this is your Velcro. I suggest non-adhesive backing, as well as you're gonna get some scissors and cut little rectangles out. I did 3 for the back of the mask, and then traced where I wanted them to be on the mask. I also did the same thing for the ears, but for the ears, I only did 2 pieces of Velcro for each, and they were a rectangle with a pointed end. And for attaching them, I used contact cement glue, and this is where you apply it to your EVA foam as well as to the Velcro, the backside. Wait for them both to dry before attaching them together. I find with putting Velcro onto EVA foam, contact cement glue gives you the best adhesion, but you can also use a hot glue gun to do this as well. And for this, I highly recommend putting your hoodie onto a mannequin or a foam styrofoam head or something, so that way it has a general hood-like shape. And you're going to want to get the female part of your Velcro and attach it to the male part that should be already attached to your mask. And for this part, I did use hot glue. And we're gonna apply the hot glue to the back side of the female Velcro. And while it is still hot, we're going to take that that part while it is attached to the mask and place it onto the hoodie where we want it to go and hold firmly so that way it will cool and bond to the faux fur. I repeated these same steps for the ears as well. As I said in the beginning, if you want this to be permanently attached, you don't have to use any Velcro. You can just use straight up hot glue and attach these pieces to the hoodie. But for me, I want this to be able to come on and off for transportation, so I did it this way. And that completes your wolf hoodie cape thingy for your song cosplay from Princess Mononoke. Yeah! And you have your little critter. There's also the strap that I did, the nylon strapping. And for putting this on, all you have to do is put it around you, grab your straps, they're gonna go under your armpits, and then you're going to buckle it behind you, and then it should hold in place. And then all you need to do is pull your hood forward, and there you go. I'll also note with this, I do typically have it in two positions where when the mask is behind my head, I like to have it sit higher so that way the mask can sit on my back easily and not sit on the back like that. And then when I want it to sit on my head, I'll move it forward a little bit, and that makes it so I can pull the hood over and have it in front. And it sits more comfortably this way and makes it easier to wear. If I do want to do any pictures with it above my head, it looks like this, so typically I'll slide it back a tiny bit and it looks a little better for photo shoot. But that's pretty much how I made this wolf cape. And I hope you found this tutorial helpful for making your very own wolf cape. And if so, let me know in the comments. I'd love to get your feedback, as well as don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel. A big thank you to all of my company sponsors here on YouTube, as well as all of my members, specifically those legendary members who financially help to support me so I can continue doing this as my full-time job. And I will see you for our next cosplay tutorial. Much love, guys!